Let's talk about the Giants, Stephen A. Smith. Who's to blame for the struggle?
First of all of them, to be quite honest with you, from ownership to Jerry Reese to Tom Coughlin to Eli Manning. But in terms of who's primarily responsible, I know there are those that are inclined to believe it's Jerry Reese, the general manager, because you look at the talent or lack thereof that the Giants are presumed to have. I like Odell Beckham
So
Jr.
do I.
I think he did a good job last night. Victor Cruz is hurt. He's out for the year. That's not talent to sneeze at. Ruben Randall, yeah, he's got some issues in terms of what he can produce for you in the red zone or what have you, but still he can play. Rashad Jennings, the first running back that had stuck but before he got hurt and what have you.
He can play.
He can play.
Yeah.
So I don't have a problem with that, and Eli Manning is Eli Manning. If you're going to knock anybody for getting Eli Manning, I mean, what do you want me to say? He's a two-time Super Bowl champion. Did lead the league in interceptions 3 times, but he's still Eli Manning. You look on the defensive side of the ball, Prince Amukamara, obviously he's got some promise.
But he's gone.
But he's gone for the year. He's gone, like you say, he's gone for the year. I'm just talking about in terms of talent. So I look at some of the pieces that they have, Beeson and those guys that got hurt. I'm looking at some of the pieces that Jerry Reese put on the squad, and even though there are times where it appears he could have done a better job, I can't sit there and look at these guys and say, no, they can't play, they can't get it done. They've proven they can get it done, so I'm not going to go the Jerry Reese route. Eli Manning is inconsistent. He has something to do with it. But Skip Bayless, I'm going to sound sacrilegious in saying this. I ultimately put this on Tom Coughlin. And I'm going to tell you why. I want to be very respectful when I say this because the man is a 2-time Super Bowl champion. And there are those who consider him a lock for the Hall of Fame because of those 2 Super Bowl rings. And I guess if you're going by rings and that's where you want to stop, I have to give credit where credit is due. Tom Coughlin knows football. He can coach his butt off.
Yep.
All of this stuff is true about him. Here's the problem, the results. In the end, 5 times in 6 years, you will have missed the playoffs. And by the way, since 2011, Skip, even the year they won the Super Bowl, they squeezed in at 9-7.
They did.
And then they came at 9-7 again, and then 7-9, and now you're 3-5. What is that? All I'm saying is there comes a point in time we're like allergic to saying this in this business when it comes to coaches, and it really bothers me because we do it to players all the time.
Yep.
But there comes a time when it's your time.
Yeah.
It's just your time. This is not about Tom Coughlin's ability to coach. I know he can coach. This is not about questioning his accomplishments. I'm not questioning his accomplishments. But when you miss the playoffs in 5 of 6 years, like the Giants are on the verge of doing, there may come a point in time when it's time for a new voice. To resonate with you, Skip, you can relate to where I'm coming from. We all knew how great Tom Landry was.
Yep.
But Jerry Jones took over. It wasn't just about bringing his guy in. It had reached a point where it was time for a new voice in Dallas.
3-13.
I'm saying, I'm saying the hat and the suit and all of that stuff. It was nice, Tom Landry. We enjoy you. You were fantastic.
Yep.
But there comes a point in time. Don Shula in Miami. There comes a time. And all I'm saying is that with Tom Coughlin, it's his time. In New York, maybe, I don't know. But in New York, I just get the sense that the New York Giants need a new voice. Because sometimes, no matter how far, I mean, listen, the man can coach. He knows football. He's always working hard. He prepares. He's always getting up earlier than everybody else. He's working later than everybody else. Nobody's questioning anything about Tom Coughlin but the results. 5 missed playoffs in 6 years is unacceptable for an organization the caliber of the New York Giants. I do believe that if they don't make the playoffs, it is simply time for a new voice.
I agree with you, but I'm glad you brought up the Tom Landry analogy. Here's the difference in Tom Coughlin. I don't think it's time for Tom to be put out to pasture. I would not blame any other team for hiring Tom Coughlin. Just start over, give him a fresh start with the new group, because the man can just flat out coach.
Yes.
He's solid. He's dedicated. He's dependable.
Focused.
I wouldn't mind him coaching my football team.
Neither would I.
Okay? So the point is, it's just time for a change in New York. But now let's come back to your quarterback, Eli Manning, the cipher to me, the guy I can't ever quite figure out. Because, as you point out, 3 times now, Eli Manning has led the NFL in interceptions. After each of the first 2 times, he bounced right back with an incredible season because they got on a late roll each time. he got on a hot roll in the postseason, and leading the league in interceptions turned into 2 Super Bowl rings. That's phenomenal. But to me, it's still an aberration. It's still outliers when you look at the grand scheme of Eli Manning. Last night, when the game started, I knew right away Eli was out of it. He's just having one of those bad Eli. There's great Eli, there's bad Eli. There's out of it Eli, and he just seemed a little off last night. No rapport. I don't know how Preston Parker got in the game, but he missed him he had 6 targets and 1 catch. They were completely on the wrong wavelength. But my point is, it looks like this is the first time, and I could eat these words, but they're now 3-5. It looks like Eli's not going to bounce back with the Super Bowl after last year's leading the league in interceptions. Is that fair to say?
Looks that way.
I mean, it sure looks that way. Miracles do happen, but to me, all of a sudden, at an advanced age, after he came off, what was it, some kind of ankle surgery, he's not bouncing back. So you can't trust that he will keep leading the league in interceptions one year and then come back with a miraculous year the next year. So I'm thinking you got dual blame here, and I'm going to go 50-50 coach quarterback. But the quarterback, without a bounce-back year, is about to get the coach fired.